morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to talk about Giratina. You see, ladies and gentlemen, Giratina, it's a card that we've had for a little while. And it's not been particularly good, it's been largely underwhelming, we've not been a huge fan. But I think we need to go back and take another look at it, because I think Giratina's about to get really good. Now, obviously here we are not talking about the Giratina from Lost Thunder. The Giratina from Lost Thunder is amazing. It has been amazing ever since it was released, and it's probably going to rotate out in a few months' time, but until it does, I think we can safely say it will continue to be amazing. Long live Giratina, I suppose. No, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the Giratina from Unified Minds. The one that I got pretty gosh darned excited about when it was revealed, and told you all it was pretty good, and meant it incidentally, only to see it just never quite be good enough. Sad face. Now, the attack on this Giratina is nothing to write home about. 1 psychic, 2 colourless energy, 70 damage plus confusion. It's fine. I mean, look, the confusion is quite nice. The fact that you can confuse your opponent, make them flip a coin to attack, could be worse. And at least for the time being, we've got Malamar to accelerate energy, so that's quite good. And with it being a non-GX, non-V Pokemon, you will be able to use Twin Energy, so that's quite nice. It's not terrible, alright? There are things to like about it. But let's not get terribly excited. No, ladies and gentlemen, let's get terribly excited about the ability. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may discard a special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Now, when this was revealed, when we first took a look at this, it was basically a rubbish version of Kartana. You see, Kartana GX had an ability that let you discard a special energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon, whereas this Giratina is only from the active. It's an objectively worse ability. And it's never really seen any play. Kartana saw play, but it was partly for the ability, and partly for the single energy GX attack that just let you take a prize. Bearing in mind that with Rainbow Energy, that could be teched into literally any deck. So we looked at Giratina and we basically said, well, it's a rubbish Kartana. And even when Kartana went away, we've just not needed it. I mean, until recently, the big special energy really has been like triple acceleration energy. But that falls off at the end of your turn anyway. You do see the odd Mewtwo and Mew deck running around, which plays Aurora Energy and Rainbow Energy and all of that. But that's not been the preferred way to actually play Mewtwo and Mew. It's not been played like that well enough to really justify teching against it. Special Energy's just not been that big a deal. I mean, if we look at the top 4 from the Oceania International Championships, or even the top 5, first place was Mewtwo and Mew, which to be fair did play a couple of weakness card energy to take away weakness, which is kind of relevant. And then second place was Reshiram and Charizard that played no special energy. And third place was Obstagoon that didn't play any special energy. And then fourth place was an Oranguru deck, which to be fair did play Recycle Energy. But then again, Recycle Energy when discarded just goes back to your hand, which kind of makes it a little bit pointless. Trying to get rid of it. Sure, you can get rid of it. Go for it. Have fun with that. But then your opponent can just reattach it. And sure, you've cost him an energy attachment, but it's not that big a deal. Now, to be fair, fifth place was Zacian ADP that did play a couple of Aurora Energy. And we do see that. Zacian ADP does tend to play a little bit of Aurora Energy. But then again, the problem is that you've got to find it at the perfect time. And sometimes you will, and sometimes you won't. And even then, it's a one-shot deal. It's taken up a bench space, you've got rid of one energy, but like with Zacian ADP, if you've got the energy on ADP and use a GX attack, that's a lot of the time going to be enough. Against Mewtwo and Mew, you've got to be playing it in a Psychic deck, and you've got to get it, and you've got to have a bench space right before you go ahead and take a KO. And for these reasons, it's been a largely underwhelming card. I'm not confident enough to say it has seen literally no play whatsoever, but I am confident enough to say that it's not really featured in any particularly successful deck list. And yet I'm making a video about it today, so what's changed? And the answer is, well, it's a two-part answer. Firstly, Special Energy is about to get way more important. And secondly, Scoop Up Net is about to come out. And those two facts alone are going to make this a significantly better card. We've already seen it start to see play in some Zacian decks. Here is a lovely little Zacian list I got from the lovely Talonite X over on Twitter, and you'll notice there is a Giratina just nicely teched in there. Now, we'll get to the Special Energy in a minute, but one of the reasons this has gotten good is Scoop Up Net. You see, Scoop Up Net is a lovely little item card coming out in Rebel Clash. And what it does is it lets you pick up one of your non-GX, non-V Pokemon. Now you've got to discard all the cards attached to it, and that's a little bit sad, but it's especially good for basic non-GX, non-V Pokemon that you're playing for coming into play abilities. It's really good for the Mewtwo that lets you recover supporter cards. We've already seen that seeing a bunch of play. It's really good for Galarian Zigzagoon that drops 1 damage counter when you bench it, and we've already seen that see a bunch of play. This is over in Japan where these cards are legal. And it's going to be pretty gosh darned good for Giratina. Because you see, now it's not taking up a space in your deck and taking up a space on your bench, etc, etc. Now it is, hey, I can play this down, but now I can use the same card potentially 5 times with Scoop Up Net. So that 1 bench space is being reused over and over again, and I can use Scoop Up Net for my other Pokemon in the deck. It doesn't just have to be Giratina, so I could potentially be paying this continually, and oh my goodness, this sounds like fun. Good work, ladies and gentlemen. Good work. So the fact that you can reuse it over and over again with Scoop Up Net is awesome, but it's also really good because Special Energy is about to get really good. Because you see, we're getting Twin Energy. Now, I mentioned Twin Energy a moment ago. Twin Energy is double colorless energy, but it only works when attached to a non-GX, non-V Pokemon. It's just 2 energy. And we are going to see this played a lot, with a lot of different Pokemon. There are a bunch of Pokemon out there that are currently using triple acceleration energy. No point going against them with Giratina because it falls off at the end of the turn anyway. That are now going to transition to using Twin Energy, and Twin Energy doesn't fall off at the end of the turn. And that makes things very, very different indeed. We've seen an uptick in the number of people playing Lost March over in Japan at the moment. We've seen it do better and better. For a while, you've had Jumpluff that can attack for 1 grass energy, but then you're down to using like Natu and Whimsicott, or Cottony, that have to attack for 2 colorless energy. And that doesn't work. Except now it does because of Twin Energy. Yes, I know Whimsicott could have used triple acceleration, but come on. To be fair, most of the list just drop Whimsicott and just play Cottony, and now you can. So this will be really good against that. Although, to be fair, with such a weak deck, you can just one-hit KO. We see that Speed Energy is coming out soon. It is a special energy. It's a lightning energy when you attach it to anything, but the moment you attach it to a lightning Pokemon, you draw 2 cards. And yes, I know that by the time you discard it with Giratina, your opponent has already drawn the cards, but you know what? They're still relying on that energy. But probably the best use for it, and the reason I think it's about to get really, really good, is because of Horror Energy. You see, Horror Energy is really good. It is a psychic energy, and it's a psychic energy regardless. But when the Pokemon this card is attached to is active and gets damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you put 2 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Oh yeah. Yeah, that sounds pretty gosh darn good. And you see, this is one you want to get rid of, not just to have your opponent have fewer energy, but also to stop you taking the damage. Dragapult V Max is proving to be a very, very good deck over in Japan at the moment, and they all play horror energy. And you should expect to see more and more psychic decks going forward, and for the next, well, long time. Probably, I would imagine that Rebel Clash is going to rotate out in August, September 2022. So really, for the next 2 and a bit years, I would expect the majority of good psychic decks to be mucking around with horror energy. At which point, Giratina becomes really, really good. Your Dragapult opponent is going to be trying to use this to hit the numbers to get one-hit KOs where they wouldn't otherwise be able to do so. This is how you stop them doing that. Get rid of it beforehand. I can mention Capture Energy. When you attach it, you get to search your deck for a basic Pokemon and bench it. And we are getting what I would consider to be 4 really good special energy that I expect to see play coming along in Rebel Clash. And I expect special energy to get a lot more prevalent. When you consider that, along with the fact that Scoop Up Net is coming along to help you reuse it, I think we can start to see that Giratina is a card that, although it's been ignored for a while, is about to get really, really good. I say so anyway. But I'd like to know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, or you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are pretty gosh darned awesome nonetheless. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.